I retrieved my board from the back porch, hoisted it to the flat spot on my head, and walked the few short blocks to Thalia Street. Through palms along the cliff, I could see big turquoise swells making for land, and my heart pressed up into my neck and ears. I was afraid of waves because I knew them and they had hurt me. Around here, they got big as cliffs, crashed on your head and sucked you down. And then there were the guys. Every beach had its own pack, and they would ride straight at you and play chicken till you flinched. You almost couldn't blame them with the greater LA basin trying to get in the surf. "Fuck you, bitch, you stinking weenie! Get the fuck off our beach!" a guy had shouted my first day here, rammed my board and cut a wedge out with his fin, big as a shark bite. Today it was still early, no one out but a brown pelican that dove through brilliant air, and houses on the cliff could watch as I peeled off my dress and knelt to wax the board, stalling. A red biplane droned overhead in air so clear I could see people leaning out to look straight down at me, engine reverberating with a thrum you couldn't hear on cloudy days. I faced the waves and checked for a safe way in. Thalia was a clean break, mostly to the right, and since, like most right-handers, I stood on the board with left foot forward, facing right, turning left felt like a backflip on blind faith. So, of course, I practiced rights about 1,000,000 times more often than lefts. A car door slammed on the cliff top, followed by young male laughs. Didn't anyone have school today? I couldn't let them beat me in, or they would have the moral advantage. Charging in, I hardly felt the cold. Knee paddling was something I could handle, and I pawed out through the break as each wave slapped intensely salty water up my nose. When I made it to the takeoff point and turned, brown, hard-bodied boys were trotting toward the surf, each with a board casually tucked under his arm like it had grown out of his ribs. A turquoise ridge sprang up behind me, and I started to paddle too late. It merely lifted me and dropped me as I rolled toward shore. Damn, I was a weenie, destined to remain so all my life. But here came another, bigger than the first. On my belly, I dug in with my arms like my life depended on it. "Come on, what have you got to lose? What can it do to you?" The wave lifted me slightly, pointed the nose of my board toward the bottom. But I popped to my feet and dropped in, angled right, and stood for a few seconds like I knew what I was doing. A small boy started paddling in front of me, grimacing. "Fuck you, bitch," he yelled. I aimed at him and showed my teeth. "Back off, weenie, it's mine, back off." The boy hesitated for one crucial second, and I shot by him, amazed that it had worked, though maybe just because we were so far inside, he knew I was about to eat it in shore break. Sickening to see, the wave stretched taller, steeper, feathered all along its top, and tumbled over toward me. When I tried to pull out, it caught my board in its curling lip. Over the falls I went, backwards, to the bottom, and it held me down underneath. Flinging myself onto my board, I paddled out fast in self-defense. Nervously, I picked a small wave next and stroked for it, but it shrugged me off. And now a big set rolled toward me. Instinct made me claw out farther to survive, but the first wave almost creamed me anyway. One of the boys caught it, dropped in smooth, and from the back I could see nothing but his head and shoulders smoothly turning, gliding right till he popped out, all of him visible again. His hair still looked dry. I felt something tug me up and turned to stare in horror at the biggest wave I had ever seen, straight over my head. Too late to paddle over it, I was already sliding down the front. Reaching for a sky hook as my feet went under me, I lurched upright, trying to get farther from the water so it wouldn't suck me down. My right foot in the back took all my weight, trying to stabilize me, and I noticed I had somehow whipped a right turn toward the crest, almost back over the top. And in panic, I turned down, slid faster to the right and up too high, turned down again, scrambling to stay alive, and flashed by one of the boys, just missing him. Longing for dry land, I saw the beach approaching as the wave rose straight up, about to smash on shore. Eyes half closed, I took a breath to save myself, but the wave held up. No, wait, shouldn't it break? It feathered all along the top, and doing about 50 miles per hour, I careened south, farther than I had ever been yet, while standing up. Laughing with disbelief, I zipped over the top as it broke behind me with a roar like a train wreck. Out of danger, I blooped off like the spell was gone and clipped my lip against the hard shell of the board. Blood tasted creamy after salt water, and I was filled with longing and regret. For now I knew I had been granted a divine ripple, brief phenomenon of glory, wrinkle on God's forehead, sent from a typhoon in Tahiti to rescue me just once from weeniehood.